some sense as I start yapping, and if not, oh well, it doesn't matter. Here we go. So, number 10, we got the drum roll. I was late on turning the knob, sorry. Shopify Rebellion. All right. Rebellion is in a 10 spot for points. I also think they're probably the 10th best team at the moment. And here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Rebellion. If I look at what they have done at this split, if I am, from the perspective of Rebellion, I am not angry. Of course, I want to do better. Of course, I wish I had gotten better results, but I am not angry. We got a top 8, and we played competitive against some of the top teams, and we've shown everybody what we can do. Now we just got to work on consistently making it happen. So Shopify Rebellion comfortably in a 10 spot, and I think that is, like I said, if I was them, I'd be excited to be there. Number 10. Number 10, I'm plugging in, or I'm sorry, number 9. I'm plugging NRG at number 9. All right. They're 6 in points by 1 point, right? They're above the next 3 teams in points just by 1 point. They have finished outside the top 8 2 times. Now, they did get a big win against Optic, which is a peer. All right. And they made it 1 round further, but the consistency's not there. We just have to be fair about these evaluations. And, like, NRG was here, and they have slowly been trending this direction, whereas Rebellion was here and slowly trending this direction, or Optic, or Complexity. And when you watch them play, too, you just... You don't get the feeling that they are a genuine threat to these top 3, top 4, top 5 teams, right? They might get some games here and there, but they're not going to be contenders to win events. I got to put them at the 9 spot for their fall split performance. Number 8. Optic Gaming. Now, these 3 here were, I mean, they're kind of difficult. I can find different reasons for different, putting different teams in different places. But ultimately, I just went with my gut. I think Optic is obviously a good team. I'm excited about Magic Bear joining 2 veterans. And the thing is, I think the reason that I went with them at the 8 spot is because I think they had higher hopes. I think they wanted to be contending for the major, and I guess they were in contention. But I just feel like they expected to do a little bit better. Maybe not expected is the right word, but we're hoping to do a little bit better. Stumbled a little bit. Definitely didn't look as strong. And I'm going to tell you right now, they had multiple times where they just tossed. I mean, there's a Game 5 loss against Complexity in, I think, round 5 of Swiss, where, like... Oh, actually, no, I'm reversing that. I'm sorry. They got a win off of Complexity's toss. Excuse me. Complexity straight team bump, and then Magic Bear's able to put in like a midfield clear. And then against NRG, that's a win where Optic could have kind of solidified themselves as a team a little bit better consistent, a little bit better performance, a little bit better consistency than, say, Complexity and Furia, because Optic could have made a top 4 if they'd beaten NRG. And it went to Game 7, but anyways, whatever. I think Optic is potential to slide up a couple spots depending on how their peers perform. But right now, I think I am satisfied putting them in the 8 spot. All right, number 7. Complexity. All right, and that probably kind of indicates what my number 6 is. I was very torn between Complexity, Optic. I didn't know which way to shuffle them. There are times when both of them look great. There are times when both of them look lackluster. I just described the throw from Complexity where I think CRR and maybe Razebull or AJG, I'm not sure. They ended up bumping and giving away the free goal for Optic in a very clutch moment. And so, I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, 6, 7, and 8 I think are very close. And we'll go ahead and just toss up Furia, who's in the 6th spot as well. And those 3 teams... I had all 3 of them just a notch above NRG, which I know is actually the inverse of points. But as far as ranking those 3, I struggle to figure out where to put them. But with Furia, I put them towards the top of those 3 just because I think they have a higher ceiling. I like the potential of that Furia team. And Yan is just... He is a very, very, very impressive individual player. Optic has AJ, Complexity, CRR, and Razeable, but Yan is just kind of a different beast. He's on a different level, and I think with time or with the right pieces, Furia can return to one of the top 10, top 8 teams in the world. All right, so let's get into our top 5. Number 5. G2. Now, G2 had one finish outside the top 8, and it was a tough run through the Swiss stage, but we just can't give them a pass for it. I debated it. I debated putting a team beneath them. I thought about putting them in the 4 spot, but I just can't do it. Now, we do see 2 top 4s outside of that, which is why I was in debate with myself at all. But I think when you think about G2 and maybe their own perspective on their performance this season so far, I think they would probably agree with, like, this is probably a performance deserving of 5th place in the region because, like I said, there was a point where they didn't make top 8. So, anyways, G2, our 5th team for North America. Number 4. All right. I put V1 in the number 4 spot. Now, I know they won an event, and I know people are not going to like this, but I did it. I put them in the 4 spot because there is too much volatility. When they're on, they are very good, and they are dangerous, okay? But they have to be on. If they are not absolutely popping, I think the other 3 teams are stronger. We've got Space Station with all top 4 finishes. FaZe and Gen.G, I think obviously you put them above V1 as well. And since we've, kind of talked about it before, Space Station, I put them in the number 3 spot. Now, sure, Space Station did not win an event and V1 did. I totally get it. It makes sense. But V1 also had 2 top 8 finishes being knocked out in the quarterfinals, whereas Space Station was consistently making top 4s. Now, I understand people don't like this. I understand, controversial, whatever. But here's my thing, okay? Space Station, relative to V1, is a newer team. Yes, they've had time to practice. Yes, they should be, team chemistry's there, all that good stuff, right? No excuses. But my point is, I think this team has plenty to grow, okay? I think they're not anywhere close to their ceiling. I think as they get more comfortable with one another, more comfortable with competing in high-stakes, high-intensity environments, they are going to have better performances overall. It just takes that experience. It takes those repetitions, and Space Station is getting those reps. So I've got them plugged in at a number 3 spot. Number 2. FaZe. Got to put FaZe there. Debatable with number 1, but I think when you see Gen.G, who's obviously number 1, when you see Gen.G in the finals, all 3 events, taking down FaZe, and then taking them, I think they went to Game 7 in the Fall Open. Fall Open? No, they did not. Okay, so FaZe knocked them pretty good here. Anyways, either way, Gen.G is my number 1 team from North America. FaZe is number 2. Both of them, I think, are a cut above. Like, if I could rearrange this, I would say there is a dip between FaZe and Space Station. I think Gen.G and FaZe are kind of your top 2 teams in NA, and they will definitely trade series if they were to play, 100 matches. They would go back and forth quite a bit. But I do think I have to give the edge to Gen.G for that consistency, finding themselves in the finals every single event. Space Station and V1, I think, are pretty interchangeable as well. Like I said, you got your top 2, and then there's a little bit of a gap. I think you got Space Station and V1, pretty interchangeable. I think I would throw G2 in there as well, even though their performances haven't, maybe haven't been as consistent or as promising as Space Station and Version 1. I think I would put G2 in there as well. And then you got that next crew, Furia, Optic, and Complexity. All 3 of those teams, I think, are kind of battling it out. You could maybe tag NRG and Space Station. I'm sorry, NRG and Shopify Rebellion on that list as well. But I don't think I would at the moment. I think NRG's got some more to prove. And I think the same is true for Rebellion, even though they're coming from very different spaces. So I think it's kind of, it's split up like this. You got your top 2, Gen.G, FaZe. You got your next 3, Space Station, V1, and G2, and they're all kind of around the same level. Then you got your next 3, Furia, Complexity, Optic, all around the same level. And then you got your final 2 of NRG and Rebellion at that bottom 2, with plenty of firepower to upset any of these teams. You know, NRG can definitely pull a series, pull a game off of these top teams, and so can Rebellion. But I don't think that I would give them, I wouldn't predict them to win events. I wouldn't predict them to find themselves consistently in the top 4. But they are strong teams, and I think they will continue to cause problems for your remaining top 8 above them. But that is my list for North America Fall Split. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Or if you want to come tell me live, I stream every weekday at 10 a.m. on Twitch. 10 a.m. Eastern time, by the way. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time. Peace.